You guys know the drill. Nothing new here. If you want the Warriors to win, all you guys have to do is hit that sub button here because one sub equals a Warriors dub. They're currently 9-11 on the season, so go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. Yo, Dub Nation, what is going on? I am your host of Warriors Today, Allie Barefoot. Producer Trace is right here to my left, and I've been reading y'all's comments. I've been scrolling all over NBA Twitter. I've been seeing what Warriors fans want, and that's a pretty big trade. Well, I looked at some players around the league and thought I found somebody that Warriors fans might like to see. Well, I told you guys I read all of your comments, and by all of them, I mean all of them. And here's one that stood out to me. I have a Mind of Anubis 8911 saying, small ball has ended. You guys are real Warriors fans. You know Steve Kerr loves to play small ball. But a lot of fans now want to see a viable two-way player, especially a big, come to the Warriors. And you know what? I agree with you. They're sitting at 11th place in the Western Conference right now, so a big definitely couldn't hurt. Well, I have a proposal here for you. That man is Lauri Markkanen. Yes, he does currently play for the Utah Jazz. Yes, he is 7 feet tall, but I completely agree. They need a big, and they need a two-way player. So why Lauri? Well, let's break that down. Look at his past 4 years. He's been dominating. This was your 2022-23 NBA Most Improved Player. He was an all-star last year. Look at that jump he made from his points per game from 21 to 22. This 26-year-old guy is continuously improving. And right now, the Jazz aren't playing very well. They're actually sitting one spot underneath the Warriors. Lauri is their top scorer, and he is playing phenomenal basketball right now. So here's what Lauri can offer the Dubs and why the Golden State Warriors and Mike Dunleavy should really consider trading for Lauri Markkanen. Well, he's 7 feet tall. There is not a single player on the Warriors roster that's over 7 feet tall. Not even at that 7-foot mark, and we all know some guys like to lie on the roster about their height anyways. He also allows the Dubs to move from small ball. Adding another big to the roster like Kevon Looney is phenomenal move. He's a 3-level player. He can shoot inside, outside, all around the court, and that really takes up a notch on the offensive side. And he averages the exact same rebounds per game, 8.7 as Kevon Looney. But he's scoring 15-plus more points a game. That's a big difference. And then, of course, he's a salary-friendly trade. I've read what you guys have said. You want Pascal Siakam. You want Zach LaVine. You want this guy and that guy. They're all over $35-40 million a year. Lauri? He's sitting there at $17 million. However, $17 million doesn't sound like a big number compared to $40 million, $39 million, but the Warriors would still have to give up a lot of players to be able to obtain Lauri. We're going to unpack that a little bit later, but first I want to answer why the Utah Jazz would even consider doing this, other than the fact that they're 7-13 on the year and kind of playing the same ball as the Warriors right now. Well, they're one spot behind the Warriors in the Western Conference. Lauri will likely get a raise after this season, so if Utah Jazz want to clear up some salary cap, well, they could get rid of Lauri and not worry about his raise at all. And the Warriors, they could use the Warriors' draft picks and younger picks to be able to rebuild their franchise, which is reportedly what the Utah Jazz are really trying to do right now. Lauri's 26, 27, so he's not that old at all. He's not a rookie, but I kind of like that age. So overall, do you guys want to see Lauri Markkanen in the Bay Area? Do you want this 7-foot center power forward to enter Golden State's arena? Go ahead and type LK if you guys do agree. And I'm going to break down that trade just in a few moments. But first, I want to tell you about a fantastic sponsor that we have here on Warriors Today. It's called Factor Meals. It's a fresh, never frozen meal service. I've actually used it. I just ate my last meal last night. It was a nice 3-bean chili, and it was phenomenal. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. And speaking of chefs, it's actually prepared by one and delivered right to your front door. It takes less than 2 minutes to heat up, so you have to worry about no mess, no prep, no fuss, just enjoying a good meal that actually adheres to your healthy lifestyle, is dietitian approved, and right now you can get 50% off your first time. Just go to factormeals.com/dubschat50. Use promo code DubsChat50 to get 50% off. One more time, go to factormeals.com/DubsChat50 to get 50% off by using promo code DubsChat50. Like I said, every comment is being read. So I like this one from OTNA922 saying, get Lauri Markkanen. Now, this comment popped up on a video I posted almost a week ago. You guys have had Lauri on your mind. But now I'm actually going to show you guys what it would look like if the Dubs actually went out and got this all-star caliber player to the Warriors, which in my opinion could make them another championship contender. Some NBA experts are also agreeing Lauri is a good fit for the Dubs. He really brings that two-way vibe on defense and on offense, and he's not going to break the bank. AKA, your starting lineup is fine. Don't have to give up any of them. Well, one of those NBA experts is a good friend of mine, Kevin O'Connell from The Ringer, and he said this. He said, look, I'd want Alex Caruso if I were the Warriors from the Bulls, or even Kyle Kuzma from the Wizards. But would the Jazz listen to an all-in, chips everything in the middle of the table offer for Lauri Markkanen? No matter the target, trading Paul's expiring salary, and any of the young guys should absolutely be on the table. Well, Kevin, I actually put together a trade that wouldn't have to give up Chris Paul, because personally, I think he's been a fit. And he's $30 million a year, so Lauri's only 17. You're not even going to need to use Chris Paul's salary. However, he was right. You're going to have to give up some of the young bucks, which we know Steve Kerr doesn't even really play young anyways, to be able to obtain Lauri. So here is the trade that I propose to Dub Nation, and I want to see what you guys are going to say. The Warriors would receive Lauri Markkanen, and the Jazz would receive Gary Payton II. I know, it hurts right there. Jonathan Kuminga, Brandin Podziemski, and 2 first-round picks. And you guys have to put this in perspective. Lauri is averaging 23.7 points per game. He's the Jazz's leading scorer. You're going to have to give up a lot because the Jazz may not even want to give up their top scorer. So you're going to have to make this trade viable. That's why I have these players who could actually beef up the Utah Jazz who are trying to rebuild their franchise. But overall, I want to ask you guys, would you guys do this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline down below. At this point, I say yes. I think Lauri solves your big problem. He solves the fact that you don't have another 20-point scorer on the roster. I think Lauri's your answer. Do I want to see those guys go? Absolutely not, but that's business. A for accept, D for decline, while I present to you the potential starting 5 if Lauri were to come to the Warriors. Now, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Seeps, who works here for the Bulls Report, and he's like, there's no way you can take Kevon Looney out of the starting lineup. Yeah, you can if you have Lauri Markkanen in at center, who's averaging 23.7 points per game. Look at the points per game across the board if you add Lauri. This takes the Dubs up a whole nother level. And if you have CP3 and Kevon Looney coming off the bench, that would be elite. Now you no longer have to rely on somebody like Dario, who's been playing great, but he's right now the backup center. If you have Markkanen, Looney, and Dario, that's a pretty sweet depth chart. However, this sounds good in theory. If Utah is trying to rebuild, then it really doesn't make sense to get rid of an NBA most improved player and an all-star. I'm not saying they wouldn't do it, but there have been some reports out there saying, look, if we're going to make a trade, I doubt it's going to be Lauri, but maybe if the Warriors go all in, they might accept it. Here's what Sports Illustrated Alex White had to say about Lauri and his relationship with the Utah Jazz. He said, I'm sure teams around the league will call the Jazz about Markkanen's availability over the coming months. Keep in mind, NBA trade deadline is February 8th. He's such a valuable asset, they would be crazy not to. At this point, it seems unlikely that the Jazz would choose to move on from him, though. So you do have that, which might stand in the way of Mike Dunleavy actually going out to get Lauri, but I'm not sure if the Utah Jazz would actually be willing to give up Lauri or if Dunleavy would even make this trade. But all I'm saying is I've put together the pieces to be able to show Dub Nation that Lauri would be a game changer. As much as I would love to see somebody like Siakam or Zach LaVine or Alex Caruso, $17 million, I don't know another all-star you're going to be able to get for that kind of money that allows you to keep the trio, Chris Paul, and many other players on the team. If we cannot get Lauri Markkanen. Which player do you guys want to see the Warriors end up trading for before the NBA trade deadline, by the deadline, February 8th? Go on ahead and drop it down in the comments below. And once again, I read every comment, so go on ahead and make it count. While I tell you guys about tonight's matchup, it is going to be the Portland Trail Blazers coming all the way to the Bay Area to face the Golden State Warriors. They're trying to get a win tonight at home. They're currently an 11.5 favorite, so I am crossing my fingers the Dubs can take this one home. And the good news is that Steve Kerr said that Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins, who have been dealing with some injuries, are expected to play tonight. GP2's injury is going to keep him out for a little bit longer, but that's going to be a huge addition to have Wiggins and CP3 back on the floor tonight for the Dubs. So you guys know the drill. I said it before the video even started. One sub equals a Warriors dub. If you guys want the Warriors to win tonight against the Portland Trail Blazers and many other games later on this season, go ahead and hit that sub button for me, because this is the one-stop hub for everything you need to know about your favorite Bay Area team.